Okay, so here we go. Tightrope Pacific Invitational Round 1. Not sure which game this is, between momo4sho and Devils Brigade, both from Clan RTN. Remember the name. Rank 4 seed is Momo and rank 5 seed is Devils Brigade. From Devils Brigade we see close air support, mobile defense and lightning war. And from Momo we see Soviet combined arms, shock rifle frontline and mechanized support.
We claimed it for the fatherland.
This one should be slightly closer than for who first popped, so we'll have to see how we get along. Looks like Devils Brigade is branching out to the right hand side. Why am I lagging a little bit? I need to do something about that. Okay, hopefully it'll stop. Devils Brigade moving to the right, Momo to the left. Grenadiers moving towards the centre. Not much to remark on at this point of the game. See some wire going down here from Momo on this cover. It's a good plan.
The new Grenadier squad is ready.
Still actually a big gaping hole right there in the centre of that cover though. It's pretty much like the better part of that cover is still available for Devils Brigade. You can easily fit 4 men into that little gap there. Oh well. MG42 caught out there, and Momo does manage to flank it with Ura, and that's going to force an early retreat from the MG42. Nice timing there from Momo. I think he used the sight range from the garrison to scout that MG42, and he jumped out of the garrison and made his way towards it whilst it was not set up, and manages to catch that MG42 out. Nicely executed there from Momo, forcing that early retreat, and now he's going for the cut-off play. Devils Brigade's going to sit behind this light cover, but in comes some combat engineers from the side. So a nice start from Momo, putting a lot of pressure on Devils Brigade already. MG42 is going to set up here, and he's going to shut down this cut-off play any further. Oh, it's always a bit laggy when you open up the tactical map for the first time. All the action going on here in the centre. Combat engineers retreating. Does have enough fuel now to put down his tech structure, and in fact he actually hasn't gone for any tech structure, so 4 cons into a late tech structure. Interesting opening build from Momo.
You guys, listen to me if you want to live.
Conscripts behind the superior cover there, putting in some work on the Grenadiers, forcing them to reposition behind that truck. Conscripts now making their way across to the right, going to put some pressure on Devils Brigade's fuel. MG42 is trying to shut that down, but set up slightly too far away in a slightly too defensive position, but maybe in a good spot to stop this conscript squad. Grenadiers seem to be pulling ahead in this engagement. It looks like only 2 models from that conscript squad are actually firing, and all 3 of those Grenadiers are firing, so it'll be slow, but they will eventually win that engagement, especially with that extra squad that's just about to arrive. Looks like Devils Brigade is kind of branching out to the left now. He's gone for 4 Grens, so a very heavy tier 1 opening. Still hasn't put down his tech structure, only just completing his tech now. It could come back to bite him if Momo rushes out a quad, but he's actually very slow in putting down his tech structure should have been underway for quite a while now. Finally getting that going now. He's going to delay his quad slightly, give Devils Brigade a bit more time, which it's not going to punish his more aggressive tier 1 play. Heavy tier 1 play. You see a maxim from Momo as well. Caught slightly out of position by these Grenadiers, probably going to have to retreat. Taking lots of losses in fact from these Greens. There it goes. MG42 manages to force away that final squad of conscripts, and Devils Brigade will finally be able to regather control of his fuel. At the same time putting on pressure to Momo's cut-off here. Executes that cut-off maneuver quite well. Oh, look at that rifle grenade! Wipes that squad! That was a 5-man squad! Wow. Power of rifle grenades. They were quite low, but it's definitely a nice stroke of luck there for Devils Brigade. He still hasn't got down his tier 2. Pioneers are finally retreating now. Had to stop capping that fuel. He knows he needs to get that down because quad is probably going to be on its way very shortly. Pretty much just a lot of retreats coming from Devils Brigade right now. There's a lot of reinforcing to do. Still has managed to put quite a lot of pressure on Momo's fuel in return. Decapping this for quite a while now, and in fact may complete the cap. And actually earn back some of that fuel that he lost from Momo's harassment. I mean, he still doesn't have his fuel under control, so he's really suffered. There's going to be no fast Panzer IV from Devils Brigade, that's for sure.
Sector is ours.
Does have a few options available though in his loadouts. Could always go for mobile defense, bring out the Puma or the command tank, or just stall all the way to a Tiger with maybe multiple packs. Nicely positioned there with his MG42. Shuts down that harassment by those combat engineers. Here comes the quad though. And this Grenadier is quite deep into Momo's territory. This is a long retreat path. Looks like he's trying to bait it to try and come around the side and maybe get a Faust off it on it so he can retreat safely, but Momo is wise to that trick, decides to just disengage instead. Gonna send his Maxim over there. Nope, bit of peekaboo from Devils Brigade. Continuing to apply pressure to Momo's fuel. Whoa, what happened there? Looks like quad took a pack shot. And there's a telemine here as well in a rather defensive position, so Momo's got to be careful. Needs to get his sweepers out, which currently in base. Need to get his sweepers. Actually, because he went for a very heavy conscript play, he's only got one squad of combat engineers, so it's going to delay repairs on his quad. I usually like going for 2 combat engineer squads.
This now belongs to the people
And double building my tech structure, get that quad out even faster. But that's just me.
The enemy is taking what we have secured.
Maximum abuse. So some early mines going down from Momo, further delaying repairs to his quad, but it's pretty safe position at the moment, not really at risk from any pack fire. Looks like Devils Brigade is thinking about making a push across the right hand side, or maybe he's just intent on defending it with all those troops. Does have both his, or no, he's got 2 packs. 1 pack on the field, one about half completed. So they will make incredibly short work of this quad if it gets out of position. Devils Brigade has saved up a bit of fuel now, so definitely could go for... Oh, he does have a few options up his sleeve. He has had pretty decent fuel control so far. That gets the shot off on the quad. Takes a Faust as well, but I think it's going to get to safety. Packers advancing though, trying to finish the job. It's going to run into some conscripts though, and it's going to have to softly retreat that. Conscripts set up behind this heavy cover, putting pressure on Devils Brigade's fuel. MG42 is going to try blast away at them from behind the heavy cover. It's going to take quite a while though. Second rifle grenade we see, not quite as devastating as the first, inflicting a lot of damage, but only 2 models down for that squad. Of course the heavy cover there providing them some respite. Momo soft retreats back to some more heavy cover here, forcing the MG42 to reposition once more. This will be a prime opportunity for the quad to come in here from the side and knock out this MG42, but that is still being repaired in Momo's base, so that will not be happening.
Enemy forces are attempting to capture our territory.
Pack slightly out of position here, under fire from conscripts. Looks like they're going to settle with just capturing this munitions point instead. No LMG so far from Devils Brigade. He spent all his munitions on Faust and Talon mines as far as I can see, and of course rifle grenades. Used 3 of those so far. Quite a lot of veterancy on his grenadiers though, so if he does decide to upgrade them with LMGs, they will become quite lethal. Quad finally repaired, and incendiary rounds here equipped on this MG42. Not focusing on the quad though. Now he switches targets to the quad, but is on quite low health, and he's actually going to have to retreat. And SU-76 barrage coming in, dealing quite a lot of damage to those grenadiers. Both the packs are finally on the scene, but it looks like Momo may be going to disengage here. This pack's getting quite bold here. Devils Brigade decides he doesn't want a very potent anti-tank weapon falling into Momo's hands, retreating that pack. So there was a pretty good engagement there from Momo, doing quite a lot of damage to that MG42, and inflicting a bit of bleed on Devils Brigade's grenadiers. Still, Devils does manage another nice cut-off play here with that lone grenadier squad, and he has managed to keep control of this munitions point quite effectively throughout the game. He's now investing in a second MG42, so he's got a huge force of infantry, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see close air support. Despite the nerfs, it's still very much a viable commander. Oh, no. SU-76 barrage. Oh, rifle grenade almost wipes that squad. MG42 almost got wiped as well. Forced to retreat there. Of course, Momo doesn't have to retreat his squads, making full use of the fact that the quad can still reinforce on the front lines, getting all these conscripts back to fighting form. Grenadiers here will force those conscripts to retreat, but not before they finish capping the point. Perhaps a slight misplay by Devils Brigade. Should have moved his squad in there to try and stop that cap.
capturing our supplies.
Packs are slightly more spread out for Devils Brigade, trying to cover a bit more territory rather than grouping them together and trying to get one volley off on the armour of Momo.
Enemy contact! Fresh meat has arrived. It is now under our
Flamethrower squad there, repelled by the Maxim sitting in that garrison. Oh, that's a nasty hit there.
We are losing territory.
Oh, and he gets quite a lot of damage on the MG42 as well. How many kills has that got? 4 kills now. 4 kills from 2 barrages, that's not too shabby. Squad chasing away Devils Brigade's harassment attempts, but he continues to apply some pretty good cut-off pressure on Momo, so he's making some good plays. Has managed to tech all the way to tier 3 and is going to go for a Panzer IV, so hasn't needed to select his doctrine so far, which may suggest Lightning War, which of course has the Stuka Close Air Support, very potent ability.
The enemy is taking what
Maybe
we
slightly overpowered as well, but is quite expensive, I suppose.
Squad replenished.
Makes short work out of armour and infantry squads in its enormous AoE.
You're letting them break the line. Contact with the enemy. Man down. Our territory is falling into enemy hands.
Momo putting some pressure on Devils Brigade's fuel once more. Flamethrower squad though, forcing those conscripts out of the garrison quite quickly. MG42 also shutting down those conscripts. Quad looking for opportunities but doesn't want to overextend, get blasted away by packs. Panzer IV moving to the front lines, crushing quite a lot of stuff though, perhaps giving away its location to Momo. And it's about to run into SU-76 and there's this, both shots penetrate. Panzer IV is already in a bit of trouble here. Tracking activated by Momo, trying to finish the job on the Panzer IV. Misses 2 shots there and does grant Vet 1 to Devils Brigade's pack though, so he will be able to use target weak point. Doesn't use it there. Quad looks like it maybe got a wipe on something. No, I don't know, maybe. Don't see any squads down. Maybe a Grenadier squad. Maybe. Panzer IV is in a bit of trouble though. Took that extra this shot. Very low on health now. It's only got 1 squad of pioneers to repair it. Now, second squad's about to complete. Conscripts here in the centre, duking it out against these Grenadiers, and the Devils Brigade is going to be slightly outgunned. No, here comes a squad of Grenadiers from the south, and MG42 arrives in the nick of time to suppress the squad. Do see a mortar fresh on the field for Momo. So he's going to try and make use of the indirect fire, and he has selected shock rifle. Always good against austere. Incendiary artillery barrage, very effective against pack blobs, and just generally just against team weapons. And of course the IS-2, long-time servant of the Soviets, extremely powerful. But still a few command points away, and Momo has plenty of fuel, so he's decided to go for a second Su-76. Should have more than enough fuel by the time the command points arrive for the IS-2. It's going to allow him to barrage twice as often and apply twice as much pressure. Oh, bit of friendly fire there. Zone conscript squad, whoopsie daisy. Inflicting a lot of damage on that squad, in fact. Forcing it to retreat. Friendly's killed 1. I swear there was 2. Devils Brigade making a push across the left hand side. In comes an incendiary artillery barrage. Forces a retreat from both those Grenadier squads. P4 partially repaired. Let's try and shut this down from Momo. Just got to be careful though. Two SU-76s will make short work of a Panzer IV. They have very strong penetration these days. As well as this, that P4 could go down very, very quickly if he's not careful. SU-76 barrage coming in on Devils Brigade's troops. Doesn't manage to hit anything though. Maxim still in this garrison. I don't know what Devils Brigade expected. He scouted this a couple of times before. He's going to use a rifle grenade, but you can see it's very ineffective against garrisons. Now he's going to expose this Panzer IV to the SU-76. He's taking a few hits on it now. Just granting those SU-76 a bit of vet. Oh, main gun destroyed on the P4. This could be an opportunity for these SU-76s to move in. No, we're about to run into these two packs. Are we going to see target weak point? Here comes the incendiary artillery barrage. No target weak point. Packs are going to disengage, try and get out of the flames. SU-76 is going deep on the P4. May find it here. Does find it. One more shot and that will go down. Packs trying to reposition, try and knock out this SU-76. P4 does go down. Packs, what are they doing? One opens up. Second one does too. And down goes the SU-76. Still, that's a good trade. SU-76 significantly cheaper than a Panzer IV.
The enemy has destroyed one of our vehicles.
As you can see, 280 and 75 fuel versus 350 and 125. Good trade there for Momo, and right on cue here is the IS-2. And Devils Brigade is still a very long way away from his Tiger. So this could be a big problem for Devils Brigade. He's just got to try stall until he gets his Tiger. Doesn't have nearly enough munitions for a stupid close air support either, so doesn't have that crutch to fall back on. Crutch to lean on. I suppose you fell back on a crutch. May actually be quite painful. Devils Brigade may be aware of the IS-2 roaring around in the fog of war. Probably hears that, crushing all sorts of scenery.
Objective secured. We will defend it to the death.
Still haven't seen many Tiger weak points from Devils Brigade, and I think he may have been able to pick up a few of Momo's light vehicles if he had done so. Nicely done though there with the S-mine field. That shuts down that harassment of the fuel point, and it's going to buy him a bit more time to save up for his Tiger. And now most of Devils Brigade's munitions seem to be spent on rifle grenades so far. He's been using a lot of them. There we go, target weak point, stuns the IS-2 right in front of these two packs. And they're getting it down just under 2/3 health at the moment. In comes the quad though, applying some pressure to these packs. They are disengaging. Here's the Talamine here, don't forget. But this quad is just shredding these packs. This thing has incredible close range damage. Oh! And it looks like the packs are going to be destroyed now. That's a terrible, terrible blow for Devils Brigade. He didn't have any grenadiers nearby to try and snare this quad mount, and it's just run rampant over his whole army. Looks like he's gonna crew this with his pioneers, but it's probably gonna get decrewed just as quickly. Oh, and he sets off his own Talamine, destroying the gun. Here comes the Tiger, trying to get back something from this terrible engagement. He misses both of his shots though, and I think Momo may get away from the Scott. 3 shots in a row missed from this Tiger. This thing cannot hit anything. Tiger now under IS-2 and SU-76 fire. Does manage to pick up the quad though. Still, that's a little consolation. Oh, here come Grenadiers from the side. Going to get a Faust off on the IS-2. Does penetrate. Does immobilize that IS-2, so that's going to prevent any follow-up from the Tiger. Tiger's choosing to re-engage? No, decides against that. Probably a good idea because the ZIS is finally repositioned and he would have walked into a hellfire if he had chosen to engage straight down that avenue.
We have 200 points remaining.
You see Momo has built another squad of combat engineers. Needs to speed up repairs on his IS-2 and he's got a hell of a lot of mines here on his side of the map. Look at how many mines he's got down. Devils Brigade will be punished heartily if he overextends with his Tiger, that's for sure. And he needs to get another pack going, he needs to save up a bit more manpower. Because one Tiger alone is not going to be enough to match up against all of Momo's forces. Still, this is a decent time for Devils Brigade. He's got a lot of veterancy on his Grenadiers. If he doesn't lose his Grenadiers, he's still in this game. If we look at this victory point situation, we actually see Devils Brigade ahead at the moment, which is a bit of a surprise. So he's been very diligent with his victory point control so far, and he's been quite good with his cut-off plays and his counter-harassment, so Devils Brigade's playing very well this game. It's just that last play where he lost both his packs, there was a devastating blow. Right before he got his Tiger out, that was really well timed by Momo. Oh no! AT grenade penetrates on the Tiger. Now it's in serious trouble. Here comes SU-76 trying to get on its rear armour. There's no pack. There comes some Grenadiers, but in comes the Stuka close air support. He managed to save up enough munitions for it. Tiger still may go down here. Stuka close air support knocks out the SU-76. IS-2's got to be careful. He fails to penetrate this shell. He could go down to the Stuka, and he does fail. He misses. Devils Brigade needs enough munitions to get a Faust off. He's going to keep moving his Grenadiers to the rear, try and get the Faust off once the munitions do arrive. He's very close. There, here it is. Oh, Stuka almost knocks out the IS-2. Here comes the Faust. Oh, and he finishes the job on the IS-2. Nicely done there by Devils Brigade. That Stuka close air support just wrecked that IS-2. And just like that, playing fields are pretty much leveled once more. If we look at army size, we actually see Devils Brigade slightly ahead. And ahead on victory points. That was a crushing blow from Momo. Pretty much equal on the fuel as well. And that's what happens when your quad goes down as well. You can't shoot down that close air support plane. And wow, that was very exciting.
Our territory is falling into enemy hands. Enemy forces capturing supply sector.
Really, that was really nice timing from Devils Brigade there with that close air support. And yeah, you got to see how powerful that is there. It's very, very strong ability. So everybody's regrouping, catching their breath after that last hectic engagement. See, the map's pretty much split, though Devils Brigade does have a slight edge on territory, and definitely has the edge in the army at the moment with a few, well, 4 veteran Grenadiers, and Vet 3 Pioneers as well. Whereas Momo only has 2 Vet 3 squads and their conscripts. Not nearly as dangerous in the late game as LMG Grenadiers, that's for sure. Fresh squad on the field for Momo, and there's not much to stop it right now. No packs. Fresh P4 coming up from Devils Brigade. He's not going to try to save up for another Tiger. Looks like Momo is going to try to save up for another IS-2 on the other hand. So that means Devils Brigade's maybe slightly outgunned. He's going to try to trade it for the short-term advantage. Oh, gonna get sniped there in the middle of that incendiary round attack on those common engineers, and that's gonna force that MG42 to retreat. Pioneer's trying to put some pressure on this fuel and the common engineer fire. This is a thrilling engagement. Quad continues to suppress everything that gets near it. But here comes the Panzer IV. It's got to be careful though, there are a million mines and Momo's trying to bait it here. And I think he's a bit too obvious with that bait. Devils Brigade is not going to fall for it. I mean, you don't expect one of the best players in the game to just send his squad to try and attack your Panzer IV. If you see that happening, 99% of the time you know it's a bait. I mean, sure, if you're playing like a rank 3000 player, that may happen, but not against one of the best players in the game. So we do see a mortar from Devils Brigade. I actually missed this being produced, but it's already got a few kills, inflicting a bit of damage onto those shock troops there. P4 putting in some work here on the right hand side. Great push coming up across here from Devils Brigade as well. He's only got one sweeper squad though. They're going to be working overtime to get rid of all these mines. Here comes the incendiary barrage on the victory point. Always trying to shut down the capping of that. He's firming the pressure down to only 136 VPs now. Sweepers working their magic on these mines, but that squad actually only suffers minor losses there running over that man. Oh, and he clears the Maxim there with that flame burst. Nice pickup. Doesn't have anything nearby to really crew that. Might make instead of destroying that with his P4.
Incendiary artillery is now available.
So, Stug and P4 combo for Devils Brigade instead of waiting for the Tiger. And Momo's very, very close to his IS-2s, just about 70 manpower away from that and 1 fuel. P4's going deep, trying to get a few hits off on the quad, but this is nicely positioned to shut that down. Still looks like Devils Brigade didn't sweep all these mines. There's still quite a few nasty traps for him if he decides to push through this region of the map. Here comes the IS-2. Gonna see mediums versus heavy. Devils Brigade probably wise to pick up a pack next as well. Needs the extra bit of firepower and perhaps the target weak point. Try and deal with this IS-2. P4 is still quite weak as well. Needs to repair that quickly. Is that relief infantry being activated by Devils Brigade? That's a rare ability. and a rather expensive one as well. 90 munitions. It's you're just not going to see any more close escorts for a long time now. But perhaps taking quite a few losses to this IS-2 in the near future. Activating that. Uh-oh, Strug's in a lot of trouble. Right in front of this IS-2. Way out of position. It's probably going to need to call in his P4 to try and reinforce. P4 misses though. Strug misses as well. IS-2's continuing its rampage. Though the pack is here. Fresh pack for Devils Brigade. IS-2's going deep on the Strug. One more shell and that's going to go down. P4 shot and the rear armor bounces. There's no grenadiers here though to snare this IS-2. Oh, the Strug gets abandoned. IS-2 has to disengage. He's under too much fire from the P4 and the pack combo. Main gun destroyed on the IS-2. This is under fire from the flamethrower squad. Main gun destroyed. I think this IS-2 is going to go down. He's desperately trying to retreat it. There are still a few mines here, remember. Is that the end? Is that the end? Momo must have surrendered there. Wow, nicely done by Devils Brigade. He definitely got lucky there, getting the abandon on the Strug and the main gun destroyed on the IS-2, but Momo perhaps getting slightly too aggressive, and Devils Brigade takes the game. Well played.